Welcome back, Button Club members,
to the ASMR.
to the ASMR episode of Safe Sets Podcast.
All right, welcome everyone to the Safe Sets Podcast, our weekly talk show all about Street Fighter, FGC, and everything you need to know about what's going on here at Button Club. I am one of your hosts, Shadow Fury. My co-host with me every week, the co-founder of the podcast,
Ricky Icebeam.
Mr. Ricky Icebeam.
And we have a special guest. We have DJ, a.k.a. DiGiorno. Welcome.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing, man. I'm doing.
You
for the first time, so.
Yeah, that's right. First time on the podcast. First time on like this side of it, right?
Yeah. I'm usually on that side.
Yep. Chirping back at us
Yeah.
With everything else, hanging out with you guys. We got Tech in the chat. So, what's the name of this episode?
Ranbat Salt.
Ranbat Salt.
I'm full of it.
Everything sounds good. Hey, Upset Spaghetti, what's going on? Yeah, Ranbat recap.
So we're like 24 hours post the Ranbat. It literally just happened yesterday.
That's true.
I have not spent a second not thinking about it.
Ooh, everything is still fresh on you guys' minds.
I've thought about my blocked overhead at least 6 times today.
Oh, man.
Well, not my block. Moon's block on my overhead.
Oh, okay. We got Fooey, what's going on? Give the man a smooch. Off camera. Join our Safe Sets Podcast OnlyFans, right? Yeah. After dark.
Yeah, the after dark version.
After hours.
So, if you haven't been around here for a bit and this is your first time, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, for the past 6 weeks, we have been running our weekly tournaments as normal, but every victory for our players was accumulating points. And last night we had a final tournament of our top 8 point holders, all to win a wrestling style Button Club belt that was designed around the game that was being won for. And for the first time ever, we had medals for second and third place. So
last year it was just Street Fighter?
It was just Street Fighter and just the belt.
So all or nothing.
Yeah, so we really we doubled it up and then some. Alicia adding those medals was a really cool touch because that was the same company that did the Button Club award show medals that we did.
Oh, dope.
Did you get to watch that?
Yeah, I skimmed through it.
All right,
Super
cool.
dope.
So they were based off of that, but Alicia was like, I don't want to do just this resin plastic. Let's get the metal and all cut out. So
Cool.
they were looking really, really cool. I'm glad that we ended up getting those. I went the extra mile, absolutely. See, Fooey's got smooches for everybody. Thanks, buddy. So, how do you want to start this?
That's a good question.
Where do we go?
I think DiGiorno should kick it off.
Oh.
Okay.
And I think we should bring up the graphic of the results.
Okay.
The wound is.
It's painful,
the
but
wound is still fresh.
We gotta literally rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We gotta get right into this.
I'm sorry. You said you wanted what again?
For
results.
DiGiorno to start it, but to go to the top 8 results.
Are we doing this?
Do we have it?
Hold on. Sorry. What is going on? I apologize. Okay, we're here on the browser. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's a show.
So can we hit standings? Or is that image?
Oh, it's a screenshot. It's just the image. So this is all on how everything played out for the entire bracket. And if you want to go by the standings would be just all. I would have to go get the photo for that probably.
Mm-hmm. Or if you just went to the Start GG, right?
You on the standings? You said right? Just standings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Superwoman's coming.
I'm here.
You should just be
No. Go get this away.
Vamonos.
Vámonos. Adios. Okay. Open a new tab. Okay. Start.gg.
Not right here.
Nope. Just go up to the tab. Start.gg. With your fancy keyboard. That's someone bad influenced you into.
Hell yeah.
Backslash.
Infecting.
Nope. That's
Yeah. Yep.
BC. Ranbat. 2024.
Yo, Hazard, what's up?
On the right. And then you should just be able to switch back over to the YouTube tab on there.
Bam.
And there you go.
We got it.
And boom
Cool.
goes the dynamite.
There it is.
See?
I'm out.
Look at that.
Next time, that's it. I need to hire you as full-time producer.
I'm
I want to be the guy. It's gonna look like the other podcast. Just want to sit there with the mic here and be like, yeah,
That's it. They can take
pull up
care of
that
everything.
image. Yeah, zoom in.
If you guys want me to be here full time, I'm gonna need that real money, okay? 'Cause your girl should have done nothing today and did so much shit. So, go back to this.
All right.
Little speed bump, come here.
Everyone in the chat, say hi to Brody. Yeah, he'll be. Maybe we'll do a Halloween episode, and it's just me, Ricky, and Brody. All right, so here's your standings from last night for Street Fighter 6. Anyway, we all know the upsets. Yeah, I should just start down here, right?
Well, we can start from the bottom and talk our way up. So,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no! What are you doing?
so we got Karate Kevin and Beefcake, both tied for 7th place. Unfortunately, both went 0-2. But I was talking to a couple of the players before the bracket started, and I kind of let them know. I was like, the way the math works, 2 people are going to go 0-2. And it kind of stinks because this is our 8 strongest players by points. And so most of the players who are in this top 8, who are in the Ranbat finals, are not used to going 0-2
True
at the weekly. And so that's like a tough pill to swallow. Like someone's going to have to take that out.
Yeah, it always sucks. It always sucks going on too. Like you said, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, but normally, like at our weekly, we usually have like 18 to 20 players, and so the people who are going 0-2 are not the people earning enough points to make it to the finals of the Ranbat.
100%, yeah. And what also really changes this whole thing up is the random seeding.
That too, yep.
So the way I ended up doing the seeding last night was we put 1 through 8 in a bag. And we let the players choose in the order of the highest to lowest points. So, I8 had the most points in Tekken, so he got to pick first, and so on and so forth. So that kind of like made it random enough, but it was selected by the players. So it wasn't like, how did you choose that? Or, the picker wheel on the computer placed my spot. It was basically like, yeah, your hand's in the bag. You had the choice into doing it. And
I got number 8.
And you got number 8. So how'd that work for you?
So who did I fight first? I fought Dream Sweet first, and then immediately had to fight Cheeseburger, which was very fun. Very fun.
So tell the people a little bit of the history of you and Cheeseburger, so they know like how this story all kind of culminates.
Oh boy! So if I were to go all the way back, this goes back to Street Fighter 4. So around like late 2009, maybe like 2010. I was just getting into the scene, and I met like a bunch of people. I'd already met like Lucky D, Asian Tom, all these people, and I had head up to a New Hampshire tournament at this place called Pinball Wizard. Super dope spot.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't survive COVID, but super dope spot. And I had heard about this guy Cheeseburger. He was like this Fei Long player, and at the time there was a couple Fei Long players, but they were just like, there was this dude Inthel from Rhode Island. He was pretty good, but he was kind of like too Hollywood for everybody. He was like YouTube famous.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember who else played Fei Long, but yeah.
Did Zach used to play Fei Long?
Oh yeah, but he was like very early into the scene. I don't even know if he was in the scene at that point. Okay. If so, it was like, yeah, he wasn't. He was just staying in like Boston. So, anyways, I go to this New Hampshire tournament, and I meet Cheeseburger, and I'm just seeing him, and he was like going toe to toe with Dan, which I was like, okay, so this guy,
okay,
he's good, and he actually beat this dude named Craig Stevens, who was like, Craig Stevens was one of the guys in Street Fighter 4. It was always between like Craig Stevens, his brother Rob Stevens, and like some other people. So yeah, Doug beat him, and I'll never forget this. But Craig got mad and said, "I thought I was fighting somebody good," after he lost. And then Doug turned around and did the belt motion, and I was like, "That dude's fucking awesome." And I was like, "I have to be his friend." Yeah.
So sick.
And so yeah, from there I was just like, you know what, I need to bond with this guy because he's awesome and he's good. And ever since then we've just been homies.
And lo and behold, I mean, let me see if I can pull this. Oh, it'd probably be in IRL photos. Is that where he put everything?
Oh, I put it in the Ranbat.
You put it is in Ranbat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my rant. We can get into that later because I think that's funny.
Yeah, man. It's funny because I've been telling him to come to, if he ever gets a chance to come to Button Club, I said, if you ever make it to podium, we're doing this pose.
Well, Dan's in my apartment last night after everything's over, and he's telling me, fuck, ADHD's crazy. I just lost my entire train of thought.
Doug, Dan,
Oh, he's telling me like how long he's known him for and everything. And I was like, wow, I really had no idea. I want to show this one too because this is pretty much what you were talking about. Bam.
Yeah, he was doing that. Yep.
So spoilers, this is your top 3 photo for Ranbat Street Fighter 6 2024. Well, you know, handsome looking fellas who enjoyed their time. Hopefully, making memories. But yeah, that motion right there.
Yeah, that's the goat motion.
So this is
he's wearing the Billy Goat jacket.
This is before I gave you guys the things, and Moon is so ready to get out of there and fly. He already has his, so I didn't even see this. So you know, I had to snatch it from him and then re-give it to him seconds later, just to prove a point. But let me bring it back to this graphic here.
Yeah, so we had talked about Karate Kevin and Beefcake going 0-2, and then we had Mike Vina DiGiorno going 1-2, and then we have Dream Sweet and myself going 2-2, and then Moon getting second place, which was a huge upset, and then Cheeseburger winning the whole thing going 4-0.
Didn't lose a single set, just kept it all on winner's side the entire time. It was really incredible, and you know, just really, really simple gameplay that was hard to get around, would you say?
Yeah. I think it was a well-deserved victory. Like, he wasn't doing anything crazy. He was playing good Street Fighter and really outplaying his opponents.
And that's been like that's always been Doug. He's never. I mean, I never played him in Marvel, so Marvel always has like, you know, some nonsense. But at least whenever I played him in like any Street Fighter game, he's not trying to like beat you with some knowledge check stuff. It's just, granted, he does have some cheese, but he's just trying to play. You know, he's trying to poke you and anti-air you. That's about it. Because he played Birdie in Street Fighter 5, and very similar to Lily. It's just huge normals.
Yep.
Don't jump on me.
Yeah, poke, anti-air. If I get too close, your command grab.
Yep. So it's very similar. So that's why when he finally accepted the gift of Street Fighter 6 and started playing, and we realized like Lily's the character, it was just like a light bulb moment. I'm like, that's the Birdie. That'll work. You know, it's not the exact same character, but it's close enough.
Yeah, that's what Dan was mentioning that I remember now. The fact that like, oh, that's the friend that he kept saying all the time. Like after a while, it just became here's this guy Cheeseburger or this guy Doug. But I would never put it together that the stories that you were mentioning in the beginning that this is that guy, and now all this time later, that's the end result. So pretty flippin' interesting. What else?
Yeah, so I think the big story of the evening was Moon, right?
Yeah.
So,
Played out of his mind.
Yeah, he played so well. He ended up beating DiGiorno and beating myself as well to make it into the second place spot.
And at that point, he was on fire.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
I believed anything and everything. Yeah. You could have told me you could have walked on water after that. I would have believed him because I was ready for him to, you know, really, really put a dent in the rest of the bracket.
I was talking to it was like Hanny, Dan, and I. We were all talking like right before the grand finals happened, and you know they were saying like, oh, so who's got this? And I'm like, it's the way Moon's playing right now. He could do it, but I'm worried he doesn't have like anti-Lily. If he had like some Lily stuff, maybe. But if you don't have Lily stuff, that's really hard.
What's also interesting about his run is that he was the only person towards the end that just had to play consecutive.
Yeah, because he went to losers, I think, right after round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I think he had. Was it the both of you back to back or
moving up the sf.png? So I think I played him first. Yeah, so I played him first. Did. I put him in loser side. Mm-hmm. And then he had the greatest losers run where he literally just sat there and beat everybody
beat.
until he made it all the way to grand finals.
Good shit.
What a run.
So Doug kept it in winners, Moon kept it in losers.
There you go. Yep.
Sweet.
Everyone had their place, and that's just how it ended up.
Yeah, man.
And we had this. Oh, yeah, that was the standings there. Okay, yeah. So, if we look back at last year's Ranbat, 1, 2, and 3. There's a familiar name in that third spot.
Yeah, there is. I'm pretty salty about
it. Salty.
Year after year, consistently getting third.
Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to pry or like, I don't want to throw salt on you when you're a real person, you know what I mean? But speak about it if you have anything that you would like to say or.
Yeah, so I'm salty as hell. I came to win, and I was prepared to win. I don't know if you guys saw my first few matches on stream. I came out swinging. I was playing fast. I was playing solid. I was reacting to everything. I wasn't dropping any combos. I was playing like I was playing in the beginning of the tournament the way Moon was playing at the end of the tournament.
And Fuller even said, Temper was like, if he's not dropping perfect knuckles, he's got this. He's on, you know? In. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I came in hot and then simmered off after a few rounds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think if I had kept up that momentum, I could have at least gotten into second place in the end.
Your set against Moon, my memory isn't as sharp because the event's going on. I'm trying to focus on a lot of things. But what was some standout points of that match that you go, oh, that changed the tide, or that was unfortunate for me, or things like that?
So when he beat me in our final set, because I beat him 3-0 in winner side in the beginning, but when we fought him towards the end, I think I got too comfortable. I was in a winning position. I think I was up 2-1, and I had him in the corner. I went for a safe jump setup. He perfect parried it, and then I ripped an ODDP in his face, which I did not need to take that risk, and he blocked it.
Okay.
And then from there, it was just like
snowball,
the death spiral. But I go back to that one moment. Like if I could change one thing, it's like I just wish I didn't rip that one DP. I had such a commanding lead. I was up 2-1. I think it would have been over for him if I just didn't make that one decision.
So a whole set completely gone in a different direction because of one situation like that.
Well, granted, there was more than that, but I think that was like the tipping point. Like once that happened, it was on.
At what point in the set did that happen?
So I was up 2-1. I think we each had a round, and so if I had won that round, it would have been over.
Okay.
And because I messed that up, he won that round, made it 2-2, and then it was a 1-1.
And I think that's like being able, like obviously competing and like fighting games in general, maintaining mental is like so important. And I remember feeling that when I was playing Doug. So at one point, I don't know which game it was. I don't know. He might have had a game over me, whatever. I hit him with a punish counter, standing heavy kick. And with Ken, I always do drive rush fierce, run fire DP. I choose to do fire DP because it's consistent. Because I could do fire Tatsu.
But there was one where there's an interesting interaction. It put you in the corner, right?
Yeah. And I hate that situation. And I don't know what causes it. I've tried doing like doing run for a little bit longer and doing it. Sometimes I still end up in the corner. So I've always said I'm all set with that.
Yeah, I purposely don't do that combo because it's like I don't even want to guess and mess around with that, and I'll just get what I get for the DP.
But I hit that, and I was so lately I've been kind of like when I was talking to you earlier in the week. I've been putting so much emphasis on the fire Tatsu Oki. So I was like, you know what? I want Doug in the corner right now. I'm going for this. What happened? I'm on this side. Yeah. He's here. And then that tilted me so much that like that next round was just like it just ruined me. And I think like what makes a strong player is being able to like just control your mental and not tilt, you know. And I mean that's for anything, right? You never want to be off your game. So
last night after the event ended, shout outs to Lucky D and Hanny Scion for hanging out with me from Traveling Controller and Beyond Frame Data. And I don't get to see them a whole lot or talk to them, like to really, bite their ear off. So when we were on our way home from picking up food to come here, it was like a podcast interview. And I'm asking, like...
You should turn on the camera.
I know, but I just have these questions and they just kind of evolved. And it was basically like, what goals do you have when you go into a tournament? What defines good, solid gameplay to you? And all these things about, tilt. And of course, it's information that I want for myself so I can better my mental and have a different perspective on the high-end gameplay and stuff. And the tilting obviously is a thing.
Oh yeah.
But I know you said it before too, like recognizing a mistake and then moving on. There was a couple of times we were having casuals after the fact, and they said, I saw you react to a thing, but you let it right go and was able to go right back and to focus. And there are little bits of tips here and there. Obviously, that was just casuals and not a Ranbat,
right.
Set against Cheeseburger and things like that. But it's just so hard to not take it super seriously. And in that moment, it's hard for me to be like, this is a video game. No, I'm fighting for my life, and it just happens to be this and my meter and everything. It's just so hard to just be like separate, like this is a game. Even at one point, Dan's like, we're just all pushing buttons together.
Yeah, man.
And when you simplify anything to just that little bit, right? I could say, I scratch doodles on strangers for a living. And I could simplify, anything into that. But when I watch Dan play and I see his fingers and how he plays and what's going on the screen, I don't just think like, oh, he's just pressing buttons.
Just pressing buttons.
It's still just so cool, So
man.
I don't know if I hold things to like too high of a on a pedestal or whatever, but I couldn't just be like, oh, it's just pressing buttons. No, Dan, it's beautiful. It's absolutely sick.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the beautiful thing about like, again, fighting games and just competition in general is like, at first glance, it's just whatever it is, right? Like chess is just a board game, or Street Fighter is a Street Fighter. But then once you're no longer ignorant to it and you know all the details, being able to like just see that stuff is fucking beautiful. Like just watching, when Hanny was commentating, and even when I was just sitting on the side of him and like he was just kind of side commentating on what he was watching. He like things were happening and he was calling out stuff before they even happened, and it's like that's cool. He's already at a level where it's like he's just processing so much information so fast, and that's a beautiful thing. It's great, and that's why fighting games are great.
Being comfortable in those situations and understanding. We were watching one of the World Warrior events that was live last night after our event, and same thing. They're both just there, like an old married couple. The way they go back and forth, they're really really hilarious. And the things that they are picking up on in the set, like there's a couple of times where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck their guys are talking about. Right. I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't see that. I don't know what's going on. It was kind of like that when we were driving home from Defend the North. You and Temper were talking about some things, and I remember you saying like, I need to find a situation that does this, this, and that for this, this, and that. And I'm like, man, these guys are just so sick. Like the level that these guys are thinking on, and. We'll get more comfortable and we'll get there.
Hell yeah.
Doodles on strangers is wild. Yeah, right? I mean, whatever. I mean, and there's been times where I've said that to clients. Like, I'm just drawing dumb pictures on dumb people. That's all it is. Foolery, you did a great job with commentary. I had so much fun doing that with you for the end of the night. What was great about doing commentary with him was there was perfect respect of back and forth. Left foot, right foot, we were walking the entire time. I had my bit, I gave him the space to have his bit, and it was really, really cool because I can't stand when people talk over each other in a real setting, let alone commentary.
Yeah, I think it's a skill, like not only to kind of have the pace to go back and forth, but to realize when you've messed up. I'm like, okay, I have to be more quiet now because I just stepped on their toe.
Yeah. No, I think as a whole, yesterday's event was really, really awesome. There's like a few bullet points in my head that I want to make sure are completely solid for next year, and there's like no question. Sometimes like we posted things in the Discord and I felt like things got like twisted a little bit. So I want to make sure like everything is just so super solid. There's no question of what's going on or what's starting or how payouts are working and things like that. I'm sorry. Do you know if Cheeseburger got any money from Hanny?
Money?
Yeah.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I didn't realize there was any money going on.
Hanny approached me about wanting to donate $25. Wanted to donate to Street Fighter in particular, and I said I didn't want you to donate to one, not the other. So if he could split that. But I wasn't asking for a donation. And I'm pretty sure what he said was he was going to do 25 and 25. So I didn't know if he ended up doing that.
I want to say no, but
I don't think
maybe
I
it was
think
private.
So. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hanny, that liar.
All right, what else about the Ranbat? Keep me on task there as a co-host because I'm a mess.
About the Ranbat specifically, so every game, regardless of the score, was actually pretty close. And that was actually one thing I was a little bit worried about because the point system ensures that we have our 8 strongest players by points to show up. But there's lots of times, like at the weekly, where like maybe the person who is like the top 1 to top 3 in points is very consistently beating like everybody else on the list, right? Like the top 3 is consistently beating players number 4 down. And so that was kind of the worry that we would show up and it would be a lot of 3-0s until it got to like winners finals, losers finals, grand finals. And at that point, it's really just a tournament amongst like the 4 best where the bottom 4 get knocked out right away.
Okay.
And luckily that didn't happen. And also before that, before we got to the top 4, all the matches were really, really close. Even some of the 3-0s felt really close.
Even Tekken, like, I know you guys weren't there yet, but Tekken started with Singular versus Hazard, and that was such a nail-biting set. Sink was up 2-0, Hazard comes back 3-0. When Hazard stood up, when that was over, I swear he had no color in his lips. I actually was like, no, like, sit down. I think you need to sit down. Like, this is what clients look like before they pass out. He's like, no, I'm fine. But, yeah, they both just looked like completely worn out after that set. It was really, really awesome. And it was good to see. Tekken all the way through had close sets, a couple of 3-0s here and there. And yeah, same thing with Street Fighter. I think the game itself proves that, like, 8 different players could have very, a big range in skill set. The whole point of this was to narrow that down, but even then, like, it was super competitive. It was super, super close.
Yeah, it was closer than I thought it was going to be. And I also wanted to say that I was so happy that the entire thing was first to threes.
I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna give you a nudge.
Yeah, good. This is why it's so nice, organic.
Was it so tense because it was first to 3 top 8? And I think the game should be first to 3. I know I get your points. And for a time, I know when you guys discussed it in that 1 week. For the for how much extra time it takes, I'm on your side with that. But I do think first to 3 is like it probably should be the staple for this game.
Super solid.
Yeah.
The game is so, like, I don't want to use the term volatile, but it kind of can be. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially I was gonna say, especially because you start the round with all your meter. So you can just like you can just take 1 or 2 big risks, and then your opponent's down to 50% health, and it's like, okay, now I have to claw my way back.
Yeah.
But in like older Street Fighter games, like 4 and 5, it's like, well, you didn't start the round with all the meter, so when you did get to the point where the next hit's going to do 50%, it was like after you've done a bunch of stuff, after a couple of rounds went off, not at 99 seconds when the round starts.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, and shout outs to Upset Spaghetti, especially for special events or monthlies. Okay, so Hanny yesterday, I talked about this with Hanny very, very briefly, because I also am like, I love that this is first to 3, and I don't want to hear anything at the end of it. Like, first to 3 is solid. If you can't win that, that's a wrap. And Hanny was recalling a interview that Chris T did with Taquito.
Oh, cool.
And I ended up watching it last night, and I think Hanny's paraphrasing was a little more like leaned into a little bit more. But basically, he was like, "Why do you want? What did he say? Like, why do you care? Or why is competitive integrity so important?" He goes, "Without first to 2, it'll be like the end of Street Fighter 4, where you have about 50 of the guys that are at the top that are basically untouchable, and then you alienate the open bracket for people like, I don't want to go in there because I'm just going to lose these guys. There's no way I can beat these guys in a first to 3, where a first to 2 is that wild card chance that something could happen, something could be an upset, and you have to claw your way through this tournament, and that's what makes it exciting for people to watch and keeps the players engaged, because you now have to be so extremely sharp, get it done in 2 and not 3, and see where that goes. Because I was even bringing up, Brutus versus Punk on Street Fighter League. That would have been an upset. Punk comes back, because that's exactly what should happen in a first to 3, right?
Right.
You're trying to eliminate the upsets.
It's odd because, like, I definitely get what you're saying, and I remember, like, again, I started in Street Fighter 4. I remember watching Street Fighter 4 so much. I was watching, like, every tournament, every weekend, and like you said, there was always, like, you look at the bracket, you already know who's in top 8. Daigo's going to be there. All these, Justin Wong's going to be there. By the listing who's there. Right. Oh, this is a wash. And I remember watching. I don't know what season's beatings it was, but it was some season's beatings tournament, and I think Daigo got beat by Marn in winners, maybe, and then by Twisted Jago.
Okay.
I think that's how that happened. This was years ago, but that was crazy. Like, that was absolutely insane. And so those comebacks, or those not comebacks, upsets. Yeah. I feel like they had so much more weight to them. Whereas, like, you look at Street Fighter 5, and I'm not trying to erase Street Fighter 5, but because of how crazy that game was, upsets were just constantly happening, And there is the argument of, like, yeah, maybe the average level has, like, risen up a little bit, like, Daigo's just getting beat by everybody. Doug just said erased. But,
delete!
Yeah. But, I don't know. I do like when those upsets were, like, a little bit more rare, and it felt weird that, like, in Street Fighter 5 that was just happening all the time. And I do kind of worry about that in this, where it's just like with the first to 2 format, it's like someone can just go crazy.
Especially because the difference between now and that golden era and that poo-poo brown era of 5 is there's so much more money on the line.
Right.
There's the $1 million, and we're going to be doing that again already at the beginning of next year. We're going to be, picking another awarding another $1 million player. So when you say when Taquito says, "Why do you care about competitive integrity?" That's a great that sounds silly at first because you're just thinking competitive integrity. This is why we care about, it's like a 1950s commercial, right? But like, well, why do you care about it? Why wouldn't you care about it? But then to go, I can't tell you why it's important, right? In that moment. Because Christie was basically like, yeah, so talking about this first to 3, thinking he's going to be on his side. And when he shut it down, he's like, oh, I was not prepared for that. I was prepared to talk more about this. And, okay. And then he kind of gets off the topic and talks about America versus Japan. But I think that in a perfect world, I would go first to 3 100%. Yeah. I loved how last night went because of that. There were upsets still in a first to 3. Mm-hmm. Some of the results were what you thought, and then the rest wasn't,
Right.
So. I also have footage in case you guys wanted to pick like any particular game to watch back or whatever, or we can call Cheeseburger in a bit if you want.
Could we take a look at Tekken? Because we talked a lot about the Street Fighter results.
I like your style. So this is how Tekken 8. This is the bracket. I'll go to the standings in a second, but this is how everything played out.
I don't know too much about the Tekken side, but I know Tudank is pretty consistent, right?
Right.
Aito's right there with him as well.
Right, and they were number 1 and number 2 in points, correct?
It was Aito and Tudank for
top points.
Yeah. Here, let me do this. Oh, you don't want me to show the points, right? 'Cause you said the points were
I was just saying, like, as a throwaway line, like they were the top 2 in points, and they finished in the top 2 in the tournament.
Yeah, so that prediction was accurate with that.
Flavor God is Iggy?
Yep.
Okay.
Which Iggy left before I could even give him an award. He just lost and walked out.
What a guy.
So,
You should give it to Virgil.
Shame. Virgil?
No, he earned the third place. When he comes in next time, he'll get his third place medal.
Virgil played really, really good. I get to see him play a lot of games, but watching him play Tekken is a very, very different game for him. I can see the comfortability he has in that game, and yeah, he played really, really good. Only losing to
Aito and Iggy,
second and third. So, and big shouts to John Hazard, our only Paul player.
I don't know what's up with Paul. Is he?
Paul, I think some of the players hate Paul, but he's got, pardon my ignorance, but he's got some quarter circle move that it just does a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, so I'm not a Tekken player. I don't pretend to know, but it has it's literally like a punch attack. And if he hits you with it, it's like a falcon punch. It does like 50%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's really, really slow. And so
that character's sick.
I can hear it in his voice too,
And so again, I'm not super familiar with Tekken, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it works. And so the whole idea is like he's trying to go for it, so you always have to worry about it. But because you kind of both respect it, like if he goes for it and he whiffs, then he dies. So he's probably not going to do it. So when he finally hits you with it,
you're like, oh damn,
you're basically always dancing around that move.
Yeah. And from what I know of how Hazard plays, from him talking, like he's kind of like doesn't care, and he'll press when and he'll grab you when you don't think and stuff. So. And then they actually So the first set of the night they tied for the same placing.
Oh, him and
Paul just has really, really high overall damage. Yeah, John. Yeah, Hazard and Sync.
I guess.
And then Pip and Diddle. So there was a thing I said at one point, like, wow, every game's been like really competitive and really, really close. And then they were like, well, no, Diddle lost like 3-0. Oh, sorry, buddy.
And that's crazy too, because like without looking at the points, like I would have assumed that Dildo would have been like top 4 in the point standings.
I think he was like 4th or 5th place if I had to guess. Actually, Death Fist. There you go. So and big shout out to Tudank. He had nothing but really nice things to say about our event and how it went down, the quality of the belt, and I just want to give him a second here to show him off there.
I know someone made a comment about him looking like a WWE wrestler.
Yeah, he looked like the third Uso, people were saying. There you go. So, 2024 Ranbat Series champions, Tekken 8 with Tudank, and Street Fighter 6 with your boy Cheeseburger. I blame his vacation, Alicia says. And I love these photos because both of them were just cheesing so hard, and you can just see, like, I worked for this, I have this, I wanted this entire time, and now I have it, so... It's really, really awesome to see. I just love seeing them happy. All right.
We're happy, we're salty.
Yeah, we're salty. That's why everyone's noticed we're like a little bit like doom and gloom, like a little bit quiet this episode. We're salty as hell from yesterday. But I do want to talk about that because I think it's a healthy thing. Nothing motivates me to play the game more than losing. And I don't lose half as much as anywhere besides Button Club. And that's a testament to show like the skill level of Button Club is so incredibly high. And I think I've talked about this in the past, like if a new player who is good at Street Fighter is like a 1500 MR rank, master rank player, shows up to Button Club for the first time expecting to make top 3, I have news for you. You're most likely going 0-2 because the skill level is so incredibly high.
It's really, really cutthroat. You know, like I would say in the beginning of Button Club for Street Fighter 6, before you started showing up, it would be pretty random, you know, top 3. And then, yeah, you were very consistent. And even like some of the other like names that would came around briefly, and then, you know, they came from far, so they didn't stick around. You were there every week, and then now the challenge that you had brought, once you started showing up, the challenge that Cheeseburger brings with him showing up.
Yeah, also Temper as well, because I basically begged Temper to come.
Cool.
Because Temper and I used to play at Havenshine all the time on Sundays. And so we had kind of been looking for like a replacement tournament, and Button Club ended up being the exact perfect place we've been looking for.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, you know, even him challenging you and coming as often as he could, and then even the center of our bracket fattening up with so many players that, again, like you said, week to week could just beat anyone, right?
Right. So it's great because not only is there like, you know, close to 20 or 20 plus players in the Street Fighter bracket every week, but it's like loaded with killers. It's like if there's 20 people in the bracket, there's like 18 master rank players.
And like to go back to like the top 8, you don't have to bring it up, but like what I thought was really cool is like, I mean, I've been going since I believe it was like June, the middle of June. I think it's like one of the first weeks that I showed up.
It was like a month or so before we moved locations, I think.
Yeah, because I think you showed up once or twice, and they were like, make sure he knows that we moved.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was going there like the first couple times, I was like just like, you know, watching matches, scouting people. And I was like, okay, he looks cool. He looks like he's got potential. And it's like, as I've been, you know, just playing every week to week, seeing Moon and Mike V in there, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, just seeing them level up week to week has just been like super, super cool. I only played Moon for a little bit at the first location. And then I've been playing him way more now at this location. And it's like, just, again, just seeing the growth, I'm just like, this is rad, you know?
100%.
And that's like the best part about FGC, you know, just motivating everybody and just going forward and just pressing buttons like Dan said.
That was the whole point of the Ranbat, and it was just great that it was, you know, within the year anniversary to start doing things. I just wanted to keep people motivated.
Yeah.
Again, we had such a great summer, and the majors that we went to and that other people were going to, you at ECT and stuff like that, but I still wanted people to have something to fight for. So it wasn't like, well, yeah, I've been coming for a couple of weeks and my placement here isn't really changing, so maybe I'll stop showing up. I really wanted them to go, no, now there's a new carrot in front of me to start racing for. And now that this is over, I'd like the next few months to kind of just go back to a little bit more regular.
Right.
And then new year, like re-inspire everyone, pump it up, give a different thing for everyone to focus on, and start enjoying our year that way. What else you guys want to talk about next? Should we get Cheeseburger in now? Do you want to wait a bit?
We can get him in now.
I think he's in the chat, so you can probably just ask him.
He's in the chat and he didn't say anything? This guy. He did?
He said erased.
Oh.
When I brought Street Fighter 5.
Then I don't need this. Oh, you don't need to know what I watch on Netflix. Oh, I almost messaged you a picture of this today because I started watching it.
Evil Dead Rise?
And have you watched that?
No.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yeah?
All of Us Are Dead?
I'll have to check it out.
You guys are talking about scary stuff. I don't like scary
stuff.
Yeah,
you don't watch? No.
That's so weird because you play Luke and he's horrifying.
Silent Hill 2 Remake has been one of the scariest games I've played, and I like love horror shit.
Oh.
And that game is like blowing my balls off. Yeah, man.
As a Resident Evil 2, enjoyer, like that fits in line.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever play Silent Hill at all?
No, I played like some demo that they had out last year, and that was it.
We're going off topic, but
yeah.
Play Silent Hill.
All right, so Cheeseburger, you want to give us a a little call here when you're ready, and we'll get you in and ask you about what's going on there. How his time went at Button Club's Ranbat. While we wait for that, I just want to say thank you to the chat for hanging out with us and just being so cool. Who am I calling? I guess that's probably a good thing, right? Yeah, you can just call me, Shadow Fury. From the Discord there.
I'm just gonna make sure this works for you before I walk the dog.
You're the best.
There you have a notification.
Well, honey?
The top left.
Oh, bam, there it is. Yeah. And, message request.
There he is.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing,
Hear me?
buddy?
I am doing great. How
Good.
about you?
I am doing good. I can hear you. You can hear me. We all good?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, cool. So,
Cheeseburger, tell us about how you beat our ass yesterday.
Yeah, man. Let's hear it.
I pressed crouch fierce, and I drive canceled, because that's the game. Green dash the game, right? What happened? Hello? Did I disconnect?
oh, yep, sorry.
We muted, sorry.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh.
You have to unmute yourself when you're talking.
Yeah, I thought I did that. So, how did it feel to take the belt home last night? Were you staring at it like in the passenger seat?
I
Did you,
mean,
touch it at
I had a tour
stoplights?
drive. I had a tour drive. I was looking at it from my rearview mirror ever so often because DJ threatened to steal it when I brought him home.
Damn.
Is this canon?
Is this lore?
I'm
Because
going
that's your
blood.
tag champ, right? We took the DX photo afterwards and everything.
Yeah.
Do you get the Button Club, Bullet Club reference then? Was that
I do,
something?
yeah.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
good. Yeah.
He's the
love
one
the
that got me
Bullet Club.
back into wrestling,
Oh,
actually. Yeah,
yeah.
a couple of years ago. He was like, I remember him messaging me. He's like, DJ, Stone Cold's coming back. You need to start watching it. And then that was that.
Hell yeah. So, I wanted to get you in on this episode because I felt like our little interview last night was kind of cut short. And I just wanted to give you the time and the space to just talk about your time at the event, the players, how everything went. Just, tell me a story.
Where do I begin? I don't know. My time at the event.
Yeah.
As soon as I got there, everyone was very welcoming, and it was a very positive vibe. The thing that like threw me off was like the claps in the middle of sets. I've never been in a venue that has that some sort of like ambiance, and I think at first it weirded me out, and then eventually I kind of warmed up to it. Like it's kind of cool to hear applause
Yeah.
when you're competing. You know what I mean? Like especially in like a tense situation. I can definitely see people trying their best when it comes to Button Club. Not that, other venues
Yeah.
they're not trying, but like when I got there, I could just see that everyone was like really gunning for something. You know what I mean? Like, and I dug it. That's why I kept coming back. Right?
Now the real question is, now that you took the belt home, are you ever coming back?
Maybe next year.
No.
No, I know it's a long drive.
Not for a lack of effort, but because, yeah, it's on a Monday. It's a 2-hour drive. Normally, I would have to get out of work early for me to even make it because I end work exactly at 6, so I can't leave my house at 6 and be there for 8 because, traffic
way
and
too
everything.
close. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Rhode Island traffic specifically is insane. So.
Have you
For me,
always
see,
lived
this
this
is how
way?
dedicated I was.
I'm sorry.
The
Go
first
ahead.
week I showed up, I had a day off, so that's why I showed up the first week.
Oh, cool.
The
cool.
second week I showed up, I took 4 hours off from my
Wow.
job so that I could make it there.
Damn.
So
He saw that bell. He was. That's all.
That's it. It was all the
I saw
bell.
the bell.
Yeah, and even in doing all that, it was you very very slimly made it onto the top 8 list. Clocking into the 8th spot, and 9th and 10th place are just a few points behind you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, if Iggy didn't miss a bunch of weeks, I think he would have stopped me from making it. Because at the end, I didn't overtake Dream Suite, even after winning. And
Right.
they would have stopped me if Iggy took the second to the last place, and then Dream Suite took the last place.
It was
But
funny.
that's not the reality of what happened.
Right.
It's funny. The last week, the week that he won, prior to winning, he was like, bring up the bracket. And he's like calculating. He's like, all right, if I win this, if I get this, I think I'm in. And then I don't know. At one point, he won a bunch of points. He's like, I'm locked in. I'm in there.
It's just so unheard of, and I would have not have expected someone to have made it in with so few showings, someone to have drive as far as that they did for a prize like this, and someone who was so motivated to do so, and obviously motivated the rest of Button Club just by showing up for those 3 weeks that you did, right?
I'm glad I inspire people, and not, that's not something I hear a lot when I play, because usually I play problematic characters. So I usually hear a lot of complaining more than I do, hear people getting inspired. So that's good to hear.
Well, like salt always hits first, right?
Yeah.
And then with a rational mind afterwards, I think you can kind of just go, okay, like there is that week where like, who the hell is this guy showing up out of nowhere, claiming? And then when the dust settles, and this is just my point of view personally, you go like, wow, like I can't believe that's how it went. I would have never imagined that, but what a story that is to tell people. Like I'm gonna tell that to my clients at work. We're gonna talk about this next year when we do the same thing. Like this is how last year went. It's so crazy because it's just such a wild story.
And
I'm all about that, right? Like I got into the fighting game community, because I've been playing fighting games since I was like 8, and everyone has that story of like, oh, you beat up your friends, but I've been playing actively in arcades since I was at a very young age because I grew up in a mall. So what was the one thing that you could do to extend your time at a mall at a very minimal price, and that's beat people up in fighting games.
And what game did you play?
Well, I'm a little bit of background. I'm from the Philippines. I grew up in the Philippines. I moved here when I was 21.
Oh my God!
So what was popular back then where I'm from is King of Fighters. And this is when you would just play for quarters. There was no tournaments, no nothing. On Saturday, you just went there. People were there, and you would just spend quarters. So that's how I learned. And at first, I was a kid. People were beating me up. As the games progressed, I started playing when KOF 96 was a thing. 97 rolled around, I was still garbage. 98 rolled around, I was still garbage. 99 rolled around, and I started beating people that were beating me. So the whole old game good, new game bad, I've been exposed to that since 96. You hear that,
I'm sure when
garbage.
Yeah, you're winning in
spouted.
99, and they say you can't beat me in 97.
Yeah.
The people will always be like, let's go play 98 right now. You can't beat me in 98.
That's hilarious. So I also heard it was hard for you, like you had to be coerced into playing this game by Doug, Dan, and other friends from your community and stuff.
Yeah, so I did not play season 1. I had when Street Fighter 5 announced Blanca, I silently quit.
Oh.
Because I hate that fucking character.
The annoying guy that plays annoying characters hates the annoying.
When Blanca was announced, I silently quit and I faded into obscurity.
Okay.
because they never. This is crazy. This is probably just I'm in the minority, but all the DLC they added in Street Fighter V, I thought they were all garbage. Like the DLC characters.
Wow.
I thought they were all garbage. No,
That's
none
interesting.
fit me. I hated all of them. I hated fighting them. And I just realized, like, why am I playing this game that just gets me upset all the time?
Mm-hmm.
So I silently quit. I stopped competing. And then I said, never again playing a Capcom game. So when Street Fighter 6 rolled around, didn't touch it. Not interested. Looked at the cast. Saw maybe 1 or 2 people that I was interested in. Everyone else I thought was garbage. In terms of, like, me playing them.
Yeah, what
So
you
it
look
was-
for in a character.
Yeah, exactly. So it was pretty easy for me to avoid the initial hype of Street Fighter 6.
But so what did it take to get you in then? What was the final? It wasn't this belt because that timeline doesn't match up. So if DiGiorno tells me you've been playing for 4 months, what cracked? Why? What happened?
So this is actually a bit of a sad story.
Okay.
We suffered a loss of a pet in July of this year.
Okay, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you. And that kind of got me thinking, like, you know, she would. Death makes you think about stuff, right?
Mhm.
It's crazy.
And not to cut you off, Doug, but there's a pretty cool there's an element of this that leads to his character choice as well. But but keep going, Doug. Keep going.
All right.
So when we were grieving the loss of our cat, I thought about where I was in my life, as crazy as that sounds. And I'm like, life is too short to do things, to not do things you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me was missing competing. I didn't necessarily want to compete in Street Fighter 6, but Street Fighter 6 I knew would be where the most competition is because it's the new hot game.
Yep.
Or wherever. So, and during this time, I was contemplating. DJ kept gifting me the game every other week or every other day. Like, if you look at his Steam history, you'll see he keeps gifting me Street Fighter 6 over and over.
And it wasn't
and
just
I keep
base Street Fighter
declining.
6. It was the whole package.
Oh.
DLC, costumes. I was in there. I
Wow,
was
what a
in there.
good friend.
And he kept saying, play with us, it'll be fun, play. And I'm like, I don't know, it'll be like 5 again, I don't trust Capcom, etc., etc. And I was talking to my fiance, and she was just like, if you want to compete, just play. But this time around, don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders, just play to have fun. So after 90 sends and rejects, I finally succumbed and downloaded the game. And then now it was time to pick a character. The pet that passed was our cat Lily. So that inspired me to look at Lily the character, and when I played her, I was like, oh, she actually feels kind of cool. Because when I looked at Lily initially, I was like, hell no, I'm not playing that stupid looking character. What the fuck does she have in her hands? But because of the name similarity, it made me pick her, and then I actually ended up liking her. So that's why I play Lily.
Who's this stupid character with these dumb things? Oh, Lily. Oh, okay, I'll do that.
But it is
Crazy.
interesting that regardless of the character's name, I think she actually does suit you and your playstyle extremely well.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I thought, because like I was like, this is shades of Birdie, like giant lumbering normals. My best combo is normal, special move, super.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I don't gotta worry about anything else. She has a DP, which I love. He has an amazing anti-air in Crouch Fierce, which is very reminiscent of Birdie with his Crouch Medium Punch. She has a very ignorant move to get in, which is like EX Bullhorn.
Yeah,
EX Bullhead.
Yeah.
Command
Which,
throw.
instead of armor, she has a command throw that doesn't lead to anything, which is what Birdie was. So like, she just fit like a glove, and it's been smooth sailing ever since.
Wow. So, do you regret not picking up any earlier, or do you think like this was just kind of the perfect storm to get you where you are here?
So I've heard stories of season 1 where Luke was everywhere. JP killed you for doing a reversal, so I feel like I dodged a bullet not playing season.
That's actually a
Season
really thoughtful insight that you might have dodged a bullet. Like,
Yeah.
Season 1 while it was great because Street Fighter 6 is a good game in my opinion, Season 2 is so much better than Season 1 was. You might be right. You might have dodged a bullet. You might have quit during Season 1 because of it.
Yeah, and you saved a marriage. I'm finding out that Upset Spaghetti and Billy were at ends because of this.
Yes, that was apparently
It's like one of the cutest couples in all of FGC. You can't do that.
Well, I didn't, so I played, so they have to stay together.
Ooh, well, a
Thank
sigh
you.
of relief. Yeah, thank you. Jesus. So now that you have this belt and a newfound love for Street Fighter, Capcom, and all that, what are your plans now? Does this inspire you to want to compete more and spread out? Or are you kind of like, this is cool enough, I wasn't going to take it too seriously, and I'm out?
I mean, I'm still gonna try to keep sharp. I do want to travel more, but because now I'm in solo mode where I am. I used to have like a crew that travels with me. They kind of don't travel the same as much anymore, so it's harder for me to travel by myself. So I don't know. I was eyeing Frosty Faustings. So I might try to stop there because I have friends in the Midwest, so I might as well visit them. And traveling for me isn't terrible because my brother works for the airline, so I can just fly for free. Essentially.
Wow.
My man,
So
my man is zooming.
I'm like a sponsored player.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. You've got all these things like working for you, right? You could travel. You're a good player. I don't know you very well, but you seem like a pretty kind-hearted person. And if you are, if you are similar to the company that you keep, that is here, I would imagine that to be true. So like, yeah, why not explore those options and go out more?
Oh, it's because like that's how I burned out in the first place. Okay. And I'm all about not repeating the same mistakes I did in 5.
Okay.
Right now, and I'm having such a better time with 5 right now. Just
6.
Not walking through a building. Because like at one point, I could say I was the best in New England. I could say that confidently. But it put like this imaginary target on my back that I was paranoid, and it just didn't lead into it just led to me overthinking everything, and I feel like I don't have that burden now, and I feel like the more I get into it, I feel like I'll probably go back to the old me, which I don't want to do. So that's really the only thing stopping.
Okay, that's interesting. You have a point you want to make?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I had a story I wanted to tell, but
Well, I was gonna say like what you said about having the target on your back. Kind of like what you were saying is like maybe it's better off that you dodged Season 1 because if you had all the experience from Season 1, you might be the best in New England again. So maybe this has just kept you. You came into the game at the right time, so everything just kind of works out. The stars aligned, if you will. But what were you gonna say? It's gone.
Fuck, I'm so stupid with that shit.
On the topic of arcade games, though, Doug, are there any other games that you were very proficient in? Arcade games.
So yes, because I grew up in a. Thanks for that segue, DJ.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
This is wild, by the way.
Being a child of the arcade, sometimes you just have bad days with fighting games. You find other ways to make your coin last, So I got really good at Time Crisis 2.
Oh, nice.
Insane.
Where I can one coin it.
Oh, wow.
I watched them at
and
G
get
one
the high
time,
score.
and it's just like
more than
insane.
Insane.
And
And it sounds like one of these brags that like leads to nothing. But I remember distinctively being in a tournament with Zaf, and he saw me play Time Crisis 2. He goes to the tournament, he wins the tournament, he goes home, and he tweets about, I just saw someone murder Time Crisis 2, and I'm still thinking about it. That's the effect I have when I play Time Crisis 2.
It's too
so
good.
funny.
It's too good.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I do remember the point I wanted to make. Last night while talking to Dan and Hanny, they were mentioning something, and they said that's the difference between Burkish and Zaffarino. and they said Burkish was very good at being, that's my decision, that was my choice, I made it, and I'm moving on. And Zaf would get a little more frustrated with the outcome of these certain things, right? And that for a while, people were telling Zaf that he was so great, he was one of the greatest in New England, and that ultimately kind of like folded him, right? It was almost too much. Then you believe it, you feel like you have to live to that level, and then you fall under. So it was interesting that you mentioned that that's not what you wanted to do, and that was literally like the story that I was hearing last night about, you know, how it is a difficult being at the top, no?
I could say that. You just don't know if like interactions are real or if people are just saying, you know, like, what's up to you because you're the head honcho. As crazy as that sounds, like I know it's I didn't win the NBA championships. You know, I won a 90-man bracket, and I was consistently winning tournaments all over the area for like the first 2 months of Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So I know on a scale it's nothing, but that was the world I was living in. People were like saying hi to me, people I've never talked to. You know, I'm not really a social guy. You know, like I'll talk to you if you talk to me, but I don't go out of my way to like network in a room or anything like that. I tend to keep to myself. So yeah, it definitely filled my head with a lot of like darkness, and I just didn't like the way I felt. And it's weird because you strive so much to reach the top, and then when you reach the proverbial top, it's like, you know, it's not what you think it is. It's never what you think it is. It's like
I could agree with that. Like in my career, there's a point where I was like, I want to be that sponsored artist, and I want to be like traveling the world. I want to have those magazine things. And then like when I got a couple of like needle and machine sponsors, the amount of work that it took to keep up with that was like, this ain't even really all it's cracked up to be. You know, like
that's
this
what I mean.
this is a lot extra for very little gain. So I could see that being a thing, and I've seen another like, you know, fighting game documentaries, Justin Wong saying a very similar thing. You know, like, do people talk to me because I'm Justin Wong and I'm who I am, or do people talk to me because they really want to be my friend? And there's that wall that you put up in front of people. I do it with clients all the time too. If someone comes in too buddy, and I'm already like, what do you want from me?
Right.
You know, and then there's a separate personality that person is, you know.
You're like putting up a wall constantly.
A little bit, you know, like you can't let people get past that because you show them an inch, they take a yard, you know. And I could see that being a thing here, but I think that also kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about like it's just pressing buttons. Like, you know, like there's maybe you have to find the middle, right? Like you don't want to think, oh, I won a 90-man bracket, or whatever, but that's sick. And that's not why I would like go out of my way to talk to someone. I would talk to you at the top the same way I would talk to number 90. And I want to talk to everybody. I want to understand how they feel and the controllers and blah blah blah. So I think that's just an interesting take, and how that.
Oh, and another thing
Go ahead.
too was I was looking at people based on how they played the game, and I did not like that at all. Like I was equating their worth
Based on their skill.
to like, is he good at the game? You know, do I play him? And because you're at the top, you want to keep sizing up the competition, right? But like at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Like you shouldn't be relegating someone to that one thing, right? That there's more to someone than just them pressing buttons.
100%.
So that's also like, you know, what I didn't like about myself at the time.
With this world, right, where all of us come from different backgrounds, different things, and this is our one common ground. So sometimes it's hard to relate to everyone in the community outside of the game, and then sometimes it's absolutely easy, and you just find people like, well, this is my new best friend. So don't ever close off those walls for you, because look at what you did now. You come to Button Club and you changed the whole bit.
Yeah, you've made a bunch of new friends.
Yeah, exactly, you made a bunch of new friends.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and not that people would look up to you because, oh, that's the belt holder now, but like, hey, that's Cheeseburger. He's a really nice guy. He really appreciates and likes what's going on over here, and that's the world, right?
Yeah, we'd still like you if you sucked.
Yeah, 100%. And if you want to work on that, you know, we can talk about that. You know? Ways to get worse and stuff like that. I can work with you on that.
Okay.
Is there any last thing that you want to say or you guys want to ask him before we end the call?
Well, while we have you on the line, Cheeseburger, I just want to ask your opinion as a strong player in the community. what would your advice to be to other players who look up to you and want to ask you, how do I get better? What's your best, advice for leveling up in fighting games and specifically for Street Fighter 6?
I always preach this because I had a stint where I was like trying to coach people because I feel like that's something I wanted to do at some point. It didn't pan out to anything, but my number one advice that I would always give is you got to learn how to lose.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to lose. And what I mean by that is not only keeping your composure when you lose, but being able to watch those difficult matches that you lost, being able to pinpoint why you lost, being able to apply and change so that that doesn't happen again. And I'm not saying everyone's perfect and no one needs to be salty. I get salty, right? Like when I was a kid, I would punch arcade machines. I would cry. I went through all of that. But what I really notice amongst people who are like trying to get better or up and coming is that they just don't know how to lose. And instead of like looking for outside factors, you got to look inside. Because who's picking the character, who's piloting the character is you. No one else is doing it for you. If you think your character sucks, switch. If you think your character is good but you're not winning with them, figure out why. That's all. But yeah, you got to learn how to lose.
Yeah, I dig it. And I feel like I've been saying this a lot. Like, it's almost to the point where I'm just like a soundboard with it. But ego stops like growth so much. So it's like when we can learn to like drop our ego and, like you said, like learn to look in, that's when you can really start seeing a return. Because like when he was mentioning like just watching your losses and stuff like that, and like learning from your losses, that's the best way that you can grow. And to hype up Button Club, it's like the fact that you guys try to put as many matches on stream as possible, that makes it amazing for some of these players to go back, watch their losses, and really self-reflect, because that's going to get you good. You can go sit in the lab forever and learn your combos and learn all that stuff, but if you're not watching the matches and watching where you took damage, that's you're never going to learn. I mean, it's not that you're never going to learn, but
it's the shortcut.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're stunting your growth.
You would think like when we started, and we don't have a whole lot of setups. Obviously, we run a lot on very little, but part of me in the beginning was like, does this take too long? Is that going to really bother people? But there was also that pull, especially from Alicia and Jared, to be like, we want to show as much as possible, right? Like, we want to show everyone, because everyone needs that opportunity to go back and review and stuff. That's how we'll all get better as a scene. Did you want to ask anything else yourself? Or?
I don't even know. No, I got nothing.
Doug,
I love you and I hate you. That's about that.
Anything you want to say to DiGiorno that maybe you didn't say last night?
I wasn't sure, so I was preparing a show because I wasn't sure if it was just like a camera on bit, but if I had camera on right now, which I'm gonna do, right?
Oh, hold on.
There he is.
I've been this thing on my neck this whole time, and I was gonna pretend like, they're like, oh, this old thing. What do you mean?
My man's wearing like Sami Zayn.
He was like in one for a second. No. See him in the bottom corner? I keep seeing him like real quick. All right, never mind.
Yeah, we don't have it set up to show you on the screen.
All right, but I can see
you.
You look great, Doug. You look great.
Oh yeah, wearing it like a necklace. I love it.
Oh man.
Any last thing you want to say before we cut you loose, buddy?
Keep growing. You guys are doing great. Button Club, probably one of the best venues I've been to, and I've been to a lot of venues in New England. So keep doing what you're doing. Tell your brother he's doing great. I know he was a little bummed yesterday.
I told him.
But he needs to keep doing what he's doing.
100%.
A lot of potential.
Awesome.
A lot of potential.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, and best of luck and everything else. And I hope that we can, still talk and hang out and get to play games whenever.
I'll be in the Discord.
Awesome.
People can post reviews. I'll roast them.
All right. Thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. Have a great night.
Peace out, Doug.
Thanks.
Later.
Awesome. That was really, really awesome. Great to catch up with him like that. And that's the most I've ever gotten to talk to him, you know, because it's go time when we're at Button Club. Damn it. All right, I'll keep this simple then. Sorry, chat. So we wanted to keep things pretty even, so I reached out to 2Dank, our winner of Tekken 8 Ranbat, and asked them a couple of questions. So give me a second while I set that up so we can give that to you guys.
Yeah, so 2Dank's not available to go on a call tonight, so we're just going to read the questions and answers.
Yeah. So I kept it maybe a little generic, but we'll see. So I asked, what was the overall opinion of the event? Because this feedback's very important. We want to make sure that next year we are better every time. So he said, it was really great. I think that the focus on rewarding participation the most was an important factor that promotes activity within the community as well as rewarding consistent attendance. I also think that the finals was run well. Most of all of the prizes were super cool. And one of the best prizes I've seen, it's made of all my friends jealous.
And that's two, because Doug said the same thing. He said he's won like multiple things. He literally won a head-to-head like setup.
Yeah.
And he said this belt is like his number one.
So that got me thinking. I was like, is it just the belt that's so cool? Because we're wrestling fans. Like, if we did a Button Club Cup, would that have been as sought after, or is that like, I don't want that thing?
I think the reason why the belt is cooler than the cup is because you can win a chalice type trophy from any tournament, right?
Okay.
Like any
Right.
major, you might win something like that. But to win a belt, it's like, I know we're doing it for Button Club, and I think maybe Combo Breaker does it.
Combo
CEO,
Breaker,
maybe?
CEO,
yeah.
that's what I'm
That's
thinking
right,
of. Yeah,
CEO.
CEO. So
They have the
CEO does
wrestling
it.
theme.
Yeah, the wrestling thing. But besides that, like, you're not going to win a unique trophy like that.
I mean, I will say, like, and I remember saying this to you, whether it was the first week or the second week when I came to Button Club. You know, Dan had told me about you guys. I show up and I'm seeing all the stuff. I'm seeing, like, you know, the image, just the theme, and I'm like, this is so sweet. Like, this is already a pull. You already got my eyes going in. You know,
Okay,
I'm already
yeah.
gravitating towards it. And I think that's like very, very important. You know, theme and something that's like familiar. You know, like, I'm not huge into AEW, but I know Bullet Club. I know all that stuff. I know all like the wrestling stuff. So when you have something like that people can relate to, it again, you're gonna get people pulling it. You know, and that's huge because. Yeah, a cup is cool, but it's just a cup. You know, I won some at, like, you know, whatever elementary little things we did, you know? So it's like, everybody knows what a cup is. But a wrestling belt, dude, that's
just the best?
Yeah,
That is
man.
what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Again, when I saw the first belt, I'm like, I'm coming for that. Like, I need that, you know?
And the first one, I mean, they're all so beautiful, but every rendition now has its own like unique feel. And I do think it is important to, like, we've created that, like, brand. Button Club has a look to it, a feel, and that can change over the games and mutate with time. But yeah, I think we like that we did that.
Yeah.
I'll read this one, and then you can read the answer. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. So I asked 2Dank, outside of your games / victory, what was the most memorable set of the event?
And he said, hard to pick just one set because I chose to use my main coffee queen, Azucena, for the whole way during the finals instead of my side characters because I really like her and want to express myself with her. I hope I succeeded in that.
Nice. Cool. And it's true. So it's only him and Piplup that play that character in that top 8 and in our brackets period. She was a character that came out really, really strong. Kind of saw some nerfs, but it goes to show you that's still a very strong character the way they played him. And then I'll read this one. I'll have you read the answer, okay? Anything you would want to see for next year's Ranbat, 2Dank said?
So he said, my hope for next year is that we do a format that is potentially inclusive to the greater region of Mass / Rhode Island, something like a monthly or bi-monthly series on a Saturday where people who aren't as local to the venue can plan in advance to attend. I think the venue Omnisorts Games and you guys at Button Club have a lot to show off and express to the greater scene. I would love to help in any way I can as well. Well, he said 2, but...
Yeah, no, we talked a little bit on the side, and they are very passionate about it, and they really, really do want to help. And Hanny having helped out with Defend the North and all that him and Dan do together, and the evolution of that duo now. I know Hanny is really looking to, like, you know, do a major someday, and we've got high. Yeah. We got our eyes up in the sky too, so hopefully we can all maybe come together one day and do a little something.
And not to, like, rewind real quick.
No, go
But
ahead.
on his first answer, when he's saying like, the most important factor that promotes activity within the community. Again, that's like one of the things when I first came in. It's like I saw that you guys were like very inclusive. You pulled everybody in. And to piggyback on what Doug was saying with the clapping thing, it's like it just makes I feel like it's motivating everybody. It makes everyone feel great because we've all been to tournaments. We've all done the same thing, and it's like it can sometimes it is just people playing. It's just whatever, and everyone's just like bullshitting in the back. But if you're a newer player and you're playing and you hear the whole room erupting because you just won your match, like that could be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially as where we've seen a couple of younger people show up. It's like if you're 12, 13, 14 showing up to this spot and you just took a game and you had the whole room erupt, dude, that's huge, right? Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah.
You're going to get them in the door again.
Right, that's as good as winning the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
you got that feel good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think it breaks the tension when I know you actually were the one that started a lot of the clapping in the beginning between the sets. It's like, okay, like they're gonna start playing, so let's give it up for them, and that really actually kind of catch on. So that's really Ricky's doing, and it just kind of took over. It when I sit down, and I know I'm in my own head, and there's that that white noise of dead space in your ear, and then you hear that clapping, it just breaks that tension, and it kind of evolves into something else. And you realize like they're watching, it's a show too, and something for them to be entertained by. So
yeah, I think a big part of the clapping too is just like letting the players know like we're here, we're watching, we're not just chit chatting in the back and not watching your match. Like, we're actually paying attention.
and I felt that when we went. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So when it actually puts a little bit more pressure on them, but like when I'm the person in the chair, like I want the pressure, like I want everyone to be watching. I want this to mean something.
Yeah.
See, I don't want the pressure, but I do want like, if you're ever in your own head about am I making the right decisions, I kind of want someone to be like, yeah, like you're doing it. And I felt that Defend the North. There's a couple of games I remember like I felt you touch my back and give me that pat, and I was like, oh, okay, like I got it. Like I know that they're watching. I know that they're invested. I know we're gonna talk about this when this is over, and everything that we've been talking about in the between. So I wanna show that I'm listening. All right, how long have we been going for? We're about an hour and 25 minutes. So I will ask you gentlemen, open floor, whatever you guys want to talk about or have to say.
I have a list of questions for our guest.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we talked
excellent.
about doing this a couple of weeks ago, and that a lot of times we have guests and we talk about fighting games, but we don't talk about other stuff. And so I put together a list of questions that I wanted to ask you, get your answer, and then we can all give our own answers and kind of chit chat about it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, look at this guy.
Came
Chat,
prepared.
thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know I haven't been like reading everything that you guys have been posting up, but we have been, looking at it, and we do appreciate your participation.
So time for the hard-hitting questions. When you have a bowl of cereal, do you put the cereal first or the milk first?
Cereal first.
What about you?
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a
first is the
world
opposite.
that does the other way?
So I mean, if you do it first, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But I know a couple people. My one of my best friends, Brett, specifically, he loves cereal, and so he'll smash a whole bowl, and there'll still be some like cereal milk, and then he'll pour some more in. And I feel like that's always kind of weird, and it tastes different. But
It tastes better.
Wait, don't tell me you do milk first.
No, I do cereal first, but then I re-up on the cereal and there's extra milk.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, I do cereal first.
Okay. I feel like you have.
But there are people who put the milk first and argue that's the only way to do it. And if you put cereal first, you're an idiot.
Ugh.
No, you're going to be dropping water, milk splashes
Everywhere.
all over the place. And I'll have you know, chat at home. Okay, very serious. I make the perfect bowl of cereal.
Perfect.
Every time. I'm not good in the kitchen. But at night, when me and my wife are hankering for a bowl of cereal, she goes, babe, can you make us the bowl of cereal? Because you make it perfect. The ratio is on point.
Okay.
So if you have milk left over, you
messed up.
Your ratio's off. There's
I
too
see.
much.
No, I did
So then
this.
you go, oh, I have all this milk, and it is delicious. It's the end.
It's like extra sugary milk.
Yeah, but then you got to add, and no, you're right. It isn't the same. And you messed up. You should be finishing your cereal, milk and cereal, all at the same time.
All right, so I have a follow-up question, and I need
go.
answers from both of you.
Let's
like
go.
frame one.
Okay.
Cereal. Favorite cereal. Go. Just say it. Say it quick.
Life cereal.
Right now it's Cheerios.
Cinnamon Life. Yeah.
I do regular.
Oh yeah, I love Cinnamon Life. What did you say? Cheerios.
I said right now it's Cheerios.
Okay.
Cheerios suck.
I've
Honey
been
Nut Cheerios. Are good.
I've been on a Honey Nut Cheerios kick. Before that, it was always Frosted Mini Wheats.
They're too big. I can't eat. No.
The mini wheats.
I feel like they're still way too big.
No.
One spoonful is like 2 squares. I can't.
So I didn't like it at first, but
Yeah,
after
yeah.
a while, it matched.
But I'm a Cinnamon Life.
I'm also a big fan of Raisin Bran.
What the?
Same Raisin Bran Crunch.
I like the original Raisin Bran better than Crunch.
No,
And you don't play Ryu? That's crazy.
We got Kite in the chat. What's going on, my friend? That's funny. Well, he is the person that will pick costume one, color one. So every time.
But I do have like a method to my madness. Like when you get to a setup and you don't know if it has costumes or colors or whatever,
Right.
you always have color 1, color 2. So I always like pick a color 1 or color 2 as my main color, so I always have it. So like if and when I ever play Guile, it's color 2.
Okay.
Shoutouts to Dan for never having costumes, and that's why Merklo actually would do Blanca costume. I think it's either 1 or 2 for the same reason.
Yeah.
He knew Dan never had costumes, so he was like,
Okay.
I want my color.
All right, so you actually stole my second question, so that was good.
Favorite color.
Wow.
Cereal.
Yeah. So now, if you could remove one character from Street Fighter 6, who would it be?
JP.
Really?
Yeah, free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
So it's weird because I hate characters that I know one of the biggest complaints with Street Fighter 6 is that it's like too homogenized, everything's all the same, everything's crouch medium kick drive rush. I feel like JP's playing Mortal Kombat in Street Fighter, and I absolutely can't stand that. It's cool when a character can break the mold. I like characters like Aki, DJ. They're not doing the crouch medium kick drive rush stuff. But I feel like JP is just so annoying. He's it's just awful. Number 2, if it wasn't JP, like if he was already deleted, oh man, maybe Blanca just because of Merklo.
Ooh, I think I feel that more. Yeah. He's probably okay. I feel that.
So who would your character be if you could remove one character from the game?
Oh, well, I'll tell you this, and this might sound worse than it is, and this has nothing. This isn't a sexist thing, but I hate all the females that are in Street Fighter 6 that were like new to 6. They all annoy me.
Who's new to 6?
It's Kimberly, Manon, and Lily.
And Aki.
And Aki. Yeah, that one too. They all annoy me.
So I actually think I'm with you because Aki's kind of cool, but she's still annoying. I don't like Manon, both her design and her gameplay.
Yep.
Lily's just whatever, but yeah, I don't like her design either. I would have rather just had T-Hawk again.
Like, Kimberly's got sass in her walk stance, and that's also why I hate it.
So I hate Kimberly for another reason. Okay. I hate that she's the ninja, and she stole the slot of Zeku, because I want Zeku in.
Zeku was
and I don't think that they'd bring Zeku because Kim's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I could remove one character, it would be Blanca.
It would be Blanca.
It's mostly just because, like, when I lose to Blanca, I don't feel like I necessarily got outplayed, especially with some of the doll shenanigans. The setups.
You feel like you got out shenanigan.
Yeah, I mean, he puts you in situations where even if you perfectly understand it, you still have to guess.
I will say this is like the tamest Blanca, or it's like it's both not the tamest and the tamest. Like he has some solid stuff, and then he has bullshit. Whereas like you go look at like Street Fighter 4 Blanca, and it's just stupid. Hop, like throw, all those like really
like
corny stuff. Yeah. But I still hate Blanca. But I personally put JP over it just because I don't want to play Mortal Kombat.
2 things from the chat. Luke and Ken players with oldie cereals.
Yeah, man.
And he's not wrong. He's not wrong, okay. And then Marissa, you guys forgot about Marissa, the pain.
We did. Oh, wow.
She's in the game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So, but I didn't think she was annoying. I actually like had kind of like respect for her gameplay, and even when she was all or nothing, she was either like doing nothing or she was just completely eliminating your life bar.
I'll say I hate her hair. I'm all set with the helmet hair, especially because it when I first saw her on that initial leak.
Yeah.
I saw the picture and I'm like, is this like Magneto? Like, is this a reference to like Magneto? But yeah,
I didn't care about that. I do think like her wedding dress.
It's amazing.
Is like one of the better costumes, but yeah, she does not annoy me gameplay wise like the other 3. So out of those other ones, I mean, do I dare say Lily because of last night or I don't know. They all will be on the chopping block. Flip a coin, a 3-sided one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's fair. So my next question: what was the last one-player game that you beat?
Oh man, am I allowed to check my
Of course,
Steam?
It's not a test.
Oh,
what about you? What's the last one-player game you've beaten?
Jesus, this is so bad.
It would be the Until Dawn remake that just came out.
Nice.
How do do I even know?
Do you know anything about that? You ever play that?
I haven't played it. No.
No.
I think my wife played the original one.
I was gonna say, yeah. That's how Alicia and I found it. A client gave it to me as like a tip. He's like, I think you'll like this. We loved it. It changed gaming for us.
Oh wow.
So when this came out, we were like, absolutely have to play that. And I think you'd. Oh no, you don't like scary movies.
I don't like scary anything.
Okay.
So I've bought a lot of games, which that's my problem.
Yeah.
The last game I beat was Resident Evil 4, the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, that was the last game I beat before 6 came out. Because that was like the last hype of Capcom. Like Resident Evil 4. Okay, I'm gonna soak my teeth into this for 2 months, and then it's Street Fighter City for the rest of my life.
And I realized that like a few years ago that like I'll buy so many games and I'll support so many developers and stuff like that, and just like IPs, but there's only like I think 2 or 3 IPs that I'll actually like start to finish, and it's like Resident Evil, pretty much anything by From Software, so like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that crap, and I think that's it. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. My world, when other gamers talk about games, my world feels very, very small by comparison.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so for me, I have like a handful of games that I'll replay like every year or two.
Cool.
And so there's a game called Costume Quest. It's a Halloween-themed, turn-based RPG. And so every year around this time, I play through it again. And so I just played through it the last couple of days and beat it yesterday.
What do you play it on?
Steam.
But
I used to play it on the Xbox 360.
Cool. What is it called?
Okay.
Costume Quest. And it usually goes on... So I think typically it's like a $5 game, and I think it usually goes on sale for like $3 or something.
Gotcha.
I highly recommend it to anyone who's ever enjoyed a turn-based RPG. It's sick.
I kind of feel like I have
And
to see
there's 2 games. There's Costume Quest 1 and Costume Quest 2, and they're both good. But in my opinion, Costume Quest 1 is just like so much better.
Gotcha.
Wow.
So it's sick, right? So side tangent. So I bought this game on the Xbox 360 like way back in the day, like,
Years ago,
yeah, like 2006 maybe. And I didn't know anything about it, but I just like bought it on a whim. And I was like, oh, cool, these kids, they're in costumes, they go trick-or-treating, this looks fun. And I start playing the game, and like a minute into it, someone like says something sassy to you, and the guy who's in the robot costume turns into like a Megazord robot. And then it becomes a turn-based RPG. I was like, this is the sickest game I've ever
Oh,
played.
that's
okay.
cool.
So yeah, you can't take it at face value here.
No, it's sick.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Sweet.
All right. Interesting.
Highly recommend.
All right.
Let's see what else I got for you guys. What's your favorite non-fighting game?
Probably, I guess Resident Evil. Like, yeah, probably Resident Evil or so it's either if I'm gonna say a From Software game, it's probably Bloodborne or I guess Dark Souls 1. I don't know, probably Bloodborne. Either Bloodborne or Resident Evil. It's hard to say.
The question is what again?
Your
My favorite
favorite non-fighting game?
I'll tell you a game that I have to play every time I see it, regardless. Super Mario from the Super Nintendo.
Yep, Super Mario World.
They have it at Free Play as an arcade stand-up with the
arcade.
control, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have to play this. That game's just so beautiful, so peaceful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I remember sick days and snow days in elementary school playing that was my first like for TV console, because before that all I had was a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember there's like certain levels, like if you beat it in a certain way, you unlock like a secret area.
Yeah.
That's. I'm not like the biggest Super Mario fan, but like that game specifically always stands out. It's that and Mario Sunshine, and I always highlight Super Nintendo, where like Super Nintendo was like peak for that game, or for that era.
Those were the times,
dude. Everything that came out on that system is
gold.
You look at Super Metroid. It's one of the people always say it's one of the best Metroid games. Link to the Past, one of the best Zelda games.
The best.
Yeah, thank you.
The best Zelda game.
Best soundtrack, by the way. Like,
free.
It's unbelievable.
Anything chiptune, I can listen to right
dude.
now and be like, I just love this. It just
man.
reminds me of all that. I would also say Resident Evil, but since you said that, and then if I could pick a second, would be Dave Mirra Pro BMX 2.
Really?
I used to play that game.
I played that till
is that the one with the Slim Jim guy in it?
Yes, and the first stage is Woodward.
Yep.
If you ever want to get down, I will fuck you up in Tony Hawk Underground.
Okay, so the Undergrounds I missed. Well, 1, 2,
Underground,
maybe 3 were like
okay.
Yeah, because
100%
Underground was
household.
after 4. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, then
4,
Underground.
then Underground. Yeah.
And then like by the time 4 came out, we're like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah. But Underground was sick because you could go off the board.
Yeah, you could get off the board and
yeah.
run around for like 6 seconds or something.
Yeah.
But then like once Skate came out, it
That
was
was a
like, why would I go
yeah.
back? This is so authentic.
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm skating. I feel challenged.
Hazard said you guys don't want it in underground.
Oh,
to set it up.
Yo, get Tomato going.
Yeah, man.
We'll do a high score only tournament.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show up with my GameCube controller.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Speaking of Tomatoes Retro Garden, I heard that they want to do Windjammers. You guys got any history of Windjammers?
Everyone always hypes that game up, and I've seen it, of course, but I never understood the hype. I know
never
it's
played
like
it?
Pong. I maybe like just randomly like, but I don't know too much. I know
That's
there's
one of those games
characters
like
yeah.
the hype is in playing it and maybe not even watching, because you
Right,
kind of
right.
watch it and you go like, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. But when you play it and you understand, you go, oh, this
This is
sick.
insane.
Yeah, I've played it and it's hype and it's. I don't know if it was actually out for like Super Nintendo, but it feels like a Super Nintendo game.
Cool.
Where, like it's simple, and
Above
it's
you.
awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like, is it tennis? Like
It's frisbee. It's like playing volleyball with a frisbee.
okay. Oh, because I know like sometimes it'll like the frisbee will be like landing and you have to like walk under it, right? Is that how that works?
So I believe Windjammer is like a top-down view, and I think you can like ricochet the frisbee like off the wall.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's been a while since I've played.
Yeah.
It's
I've
really
been playing
cool.
like 8 years.
I think before Street Fighter 6 came out, probably around the holidays of that year, when we would do living room locals, we'd have all the setups here. And then
Yeah.
Alicia's room is always dedicated to like the off game or the chill room.
Gotcha.
And that was in there for a
Going
while.
down.
So there'd be hype and noise out here, and then hype
then
and noise
wind-
in there, you know? Like, I'm done with this first to 10. Catch me in Windjammers, you know? So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that question was like, what was your favorite non-fighting game? For me, it's very easy answer is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love Pokemon.
Yep. That's my brother's era and everything, right? So.
Yeah, like I was just born at the perfect time
Yeah.
to love Pokemon.
I wish I would have gotten into it then. I wish I could have seen it. That could have been like part of my world. Like me and my brother could have had that also. Would have taken better care of the
Oh,
cards.
because you were so detached from it, like you didn't.
There's 6 years between Kevin and I. So when he was getting into Pokemon, what year is this?
98.
98. I'm already balls deep into BMX. That's my life.
Gotcha.
X Games, Dave Mirra,
That's
all
it.
that. Out riding with my friends all day. That's
Yep.
my life.
No shit.
So. My suggestion is Shaq Fu for retro. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, play it first. You don't want that.
Yeah, but it's never too late to get into Pokemon. I can teach you
True.
everything I know.
I'd be good. I'd be so good.
Hell yeah.
Like all jokes aside, Pokemon's super hard because I play competitively. It's
Yeah.
super hard.
Oh no, I bet.
That was always my deterrent from like obviously I grew up in Pokemon, like grew up playing Pokemon, and in middle school my friend was like super into it, and he would like tell me about like I know that like it's way different now, but like when he was telling me like explaining like IVs and EVs and all this like the way the breeding is, I'm like, this is too much. Get me out of here.
Yeah. It was a science experiment of a card
Yeah,
game.
dude. Well, not cards, but like the video game. You
Oh.
know, the competitive video game. And I remember being so overwhelmed, and I'm like, the type of person I am, I want to like min-max everything, and it's like if I have to breed the shit out of this damn Garchomp just so that it has these perfect IVs and then this move that he can only, I'm like, no, get me out.
Yeah, and the good thing about that now is like every iteration, like every new generation of Pokemon, they make it easier and easier to
Right.
customize your Pokemon.
Right.
And,
See, that's cool.
It takes less time.
Yeah.
That was a turnoff as a kid. The fact that it was just a card game, because I might probably like the cards and collect. Or this is
Right.
cool. This is sought after, but not like really play the game much.
Yeah, I used to play the card game when I was a kid. I used to go to Looney Tunes in Fairhaven and
Sick.
Wow.
do the weekly tournaments. So next question: what is one underrated video game that people should try?
Oh boy, underrated video game.
Wow.
Jesus.
What? Go. You gonna go ahead? I was gonna
Okay,
say
it's
maybe
so
he
hard.
should go first, so we got
yeah,
time
you
to
go
think.
first. You go first.
So my underrated game that I think people should try is called Dead Pixels. It's a side-scrolling shooter, and it's interesting. So like the right bumper shoots to the right, and the left bumper shoots to the left, and you go, and it's like a zombie survival game. So you're basically just trying to go to the right, like screen after screen after
Oh,
screen.
okay.
And what I like about it is it's not a zombie killing game; it's a zombie survival game. So if you waste all your bullets killing all the zombies, you're gonna run out of bullets.
Gotcha.
And so like when you do kill the zombies, you get dollars for everyone you kill, but then like you might not find a store for like 3 screens.
Cool. Cool. Oh man.
And so it's on Steam, and I think it's like $2.
What was it called again?
Dead Pixels.
Okay.
And
that
it's
sounds so
I
familiar. I
like
feel like I've seen it
zombies.
advertised.
Can we
Probably
bring it up really quick? Just the image of it. It's it looks like Super Nintendo graphics. It's sick.
I'm gonna put it on here so I can show everybody.
underrated video game. This is so difficult.
I found mine. I got mine.
That's a TV show.
Do video game.
See?
There it is.
This helped me type. You see
Oh,
that?
yeah.
And the other thing that's nice about it is it's 2-player, so you can
Oh,
just,
dope.
you just,
And I like this look because it reminds me of River City Ransom.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
Oh, I would play this.
Yeah, this
Hell
is cool.
yeah!
And then I didn't play any
scooping
of the
that.
Resident Evils, but I think the names of the guns are Resident Evil-esque. So there's like
there Matilda.
there's not, but I'm gonna forget the names now. There's like a Chambers is one of the
Oh
guns.
yeah,
Oh,
Rebecca
Rebecca
Chambers. Yeah.
There's
Leon, Chris, Redfield.
yeah, so there's Redfield.
Yep.
So like the names of the guns tell you how strong they are.
Cool.
So like the
Ah,
Chambers
that's
is like
cool.
the weak one, and like the Redfield is better. And then there's I'm gonna forget the names now.
Wesker.
Yeah, I think that's one. But either way, and then there's 3 different. Well, I guess there's 4 different kinds of guns. So there's shotguns, machine guns, and like pistols.
Okay, yeah.
And so each one uses a different type of ammo. So you have to like,
Cool.
oh, I'm gonna
This is
hoard all
rad.
the shotgun ammo.
Yeah.
You get all the machine gun ammo, and let's go.
Oh,
That's
cool.
cool.
It's sick.
I'm probably gonna.
It's like an
scoop that.
arcade style game, so I can play this like with Alicia and everything too. Then.
Yep, yep.
Oh,
Couch co-op,
hell
it's sick.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Alicia has never
Oh, yeah,
played.
So right there in that image there,
This
you
one?
can see. So like there's the chamber shotgun and it's weak. Then like the Valentine Beretta is like much stronger.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
But again, the best part of the game is the fact that you have to like be efficient, like with your money, efficient with like which zombies you're gonna kill versus ones you think you can just like run around.
Oh, cool,
So
cool.
there's a lot more like nuance to it.
Alicia just started playing Resident Evil 3. She's never played
The remake.
the remake, and I thought that the remake would be a great way for her to like get into it because it's kind of, you know, you go through, you make it happen. There's not a lot of reinvestigating and
Yeah.
going back and forth.
Because you didn't want to throw her in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, no, I figured like I didn't want her to get bored.
Yeah.
So this was either going to be very exciting and she'd like it, or too exciting and to chill. And then I
Right.
can go, now let's dig into it.
Yeah. Because I feel like 3 is cool because, like you said, it's kind of linear, so it's almost like a roller coaster ride. It's like just play this and just experience this. Whereas Resident Evil 2, I think it's too much of a labyrinth and too much backtracking.
It's very investigative. I've never played Village,
Don't.
and what's the one before that? And Biohazard.
You should play 7.
Okay.
7's great.
So I think we should play it together then.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, cool.
7 is awesome. I could.
You wanna hang out for that night?
No,
Well, all right,
I'll just go with my eyes shut.
yeah.
so my game, this is so hard. So I think I have 2. One, it's not that overrated because it's a Zelda game, but everyone hates on it for some reason, and I absolutely love it. I love Majora's Mask. I think Majora's Mask is like one of my favorite games. So many people hate on it. I think it was so ahead of its time, and like, you know, in N64, there was like Ocarina of Time, and it was like this big adventure game, and you had like side quests and all that stuff. But the way Majora's Mask was like, I don't even know, like they had this like weird time thing. Did you play it?
No.
I
I
played
never
it.
cared
Yeah.
about Zelda.
I thought it was
growing up,
really
honestly.
cool.
It's awesome.
So the whole game takes place over the course of 3 days, and at the end of the 3 days, the moon crashes into the earth and everybody dies. And so what you have to do is like on day 2 at noon, you have to talk to this guy to get a special item, and then you restart time. And then
Yeah.
like on the end of day 1, you have to go like save someone from like falling in the well or whatever. Like you have to map out your 3 days and then start over, and map out your 3 days and start over, and like collect all the items.
So the game, it almost feels like a roguelite Zelda game where like
Okay.
you're playing through it and you're getting all this information throughout your days, and there's even like a journal in the game where it's like, all right, at midnight on day 1, this dude steals a bag of bombs from this old woman, you know, and it's like, so now you know that, and then now you can go do things, you know, you can do, there's so many different options. Whereas in Ocarina of Time, it's like, yeah, the mailman's running around, and that's that, you know. But so I'd say it's either that, and then this is kind of an oddball, but some of the Dipchat guys know. There's this game called Deceit. It's a what would you call it? It's like a hidden role social deduction game. It's on Steam. It's, I believe, free. The second one is free as well. I'm super into board games, and I've loved like any type of social deduction game. It's one of my favorite genres. And in this, I always get salty because Among Us took the world by storm, and everyone was playing Among Us, and then everyone knew what like social deduction was because of Among Us, and I hated it because I'm like, this game sucks. Go play Deceit. Deceit is so much better. It is a little biased because it's a horror theme, and I love horror. But yeah, I think everyone should, if you liked Among Us, please try Deceit. It sucks because I don't know how the developers are now. I know the old developers got bought out, so I don't know how they're handling the second one. But at the time, the game was just like so much fun. I had so much fun on Discord, just like, yeah, just trolling and just lying to our friends. It was great.
My game would be Happy Humble Burger Barn.
Never heard of it.
You are.
Can you bring it up so I can see
Oh yeah, absolutely. You want to bring it up on Steam?
it? Sure. We're gonna see all the
Are you gonna do
hentai
it?
games you have, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You didn't know about that with me? My name's not Boltazo.
Wow. He's having here to defend himself.
Here we go. Happy Humble Burger Barn.
I saw Devil May Cry though. Good shit.
Oh, that got gifted to me because I've
Okay.
never played those.
At all,
Never.
dude. Devil May Cry 1 and 3 are. Whew.
Boltazo. Shout out to Boltazo. He gave me those too.
Happy Humble Burger. Is this horror?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh God.
Cool.
So. Oh, fuck off. For real? Oh, because it's. Fuck off. Anyway. This is for us. If you guys don't know what it is at home,
I don't think anyone's heard of it.
I've seen so many like people who stream on the daily all the
Yeah.
time, like post the play of this. You wake up, you have to start working at this haunted burger barn. And you have to deliver the food the way that people order it. Fries, shakes, the burgers in the way. And then the mascots will come to life and attack you if you start messing up orders. There's this whole extra city that's been added to now, so you can like go get coffee, and it's a very, very deep game.
Okay, so this is cool because I have played some VR games where you were like, you know, preparing like ramen
Oh,
or
okay,
whatever.
yeah.
And it was cool because there was like, you know, there's tension when the game's like really picking up. So to have this become horror when you're messing up is that's interesting.
Like the
Yeah.
cow actually chases you. That's a boss.
Yeah. This is cool.
And then even like the customers come to life and start attacking you, like when you're not in the restaurant.
Cool. I forget the name of the game, but there was there's like a survival. It's like a zombie survival game where you're also running a pizza shop. Have you heard about that one?
No.
So it's kind of like Call of Duty Zombies, like that like wave defense thing, but you're also making orders and trying to make pizzas. I forget the name of it, but it's if you dig that, definitely check that game out.
Okay,
That
all
looks
right,
cool.
I will. Yeah, and you should do the same. You should
Yeah,
check that out
absolutely.
because that's a game that we'll have. Like Jared, we love giving games to Jared and just watch him go down a rabbit hole. That was it the princess one, the princess story one?
Oh, Slay the Princess.
Slay the Princess.
Yeah, I scooped that because of what he was talking.
That was days of it. So when we had him do the burger barn, same thing. You know,
Hell
he's
yeah.
freaking out. He forgot the lettuce. The cow's coming after him.
Cool.
Random question being thrown in FGC right now. Do fighting games have too much forced guessing in them? All right, we're going to save that for a separate episode because I want to finish Ricky's questions. And then that's a good question. Definitely remember that one for another time, though.
Yeah, so I don't think I should do my full list. I have so many more.
Oh, you can hit us with a few more, though. I'm
more?
down with
Yeah,
a few more. Yeah.
Yeah, so we started rambling.
Yeah. As we do.
Yapping.
As we
Okay, this is a good one. This will be the last question.
Okay.
Favorite Halloween candy?
So, oh man, I almost want to say this just to be like controversial, but I love candy corn.
I knew you were going to do
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah,
I
man.
knew it.
Yeah, I love
Gross.
it. But
Is it your favorite, or you just like it a lot more than most people?
like, I feel like I'm like everyone else. Like, if I had like a kid's bag of candy, like I'm picking out those Reese's, the Reese's peanut butter cups. You have to. But it's a given. Everyone's gonna grab those, you know. So actually, I lied. Whoppers. I do love Whoppers. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's so funny. I was gonna say Whoppers too. We were at UMass Dartmouth on Friday for their first like weekly fighting game thing
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
ran, and it was a Halloween event. So they did a small little
Dope.
cosplay, and
Dope.
there was candy on every single table. And I love Whoppers growing up too.
Fuck yeah, man.
I ate to Will had never had a Whopper, so I opened one up. I had one. I go, here, you have one. Now I'm enjoying it. Have you ever had a Whopper?
Yeah, they're good.
She was like, oh
What is this?
no, this is awful. Oh, this is like protein powder chalk in my mouth.
No way.
This is like a poor excuse of chocolate. It was just really funny because I'm in there loving it. He's just like, oh no. So,
What have you done to me?
yeah. Crunch bar, that's what Wallaby went for. Wallaby snagged
Crunch-
up all
Crunch
the
are good.
crunch bars, 100%.
Or the bunch of crunch. Those are good. But what about you?
Well, what was your answer?
So yeah, you said Reese's and Whoppers.
Yeah. To be hipster, I think Whoppers. But yeah.
To be hipster. Okay, interesting. Well, I'm going for all those two. And Snickers.
Yeah.
Snickers, Twix, Babe Ruth.
Ugh.
How about a Babe Ruth?
No.
Pretty good. I mean, no, they're all good, right?
He's just being like, that was the co-host support right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway.
I like chocolate. Well, chocolate's good too.
Yeah. For the longest time, there would be a big old bag of Reese's, the little guys, that you can have a serving of 3 for one in my fridge at all times. So living room local, same thing. Everyone's in the fridge grabbing 3 and stuff. That's like, it's Reese's chocolate peanut butter all day.
Milk Duds are awful because they just get stuck in your teeth. I'm all set with any like Milk Dud or like Sugar Daddy Baby, whatever those things are.
What were the Tootsie Rolls?
So Tootsie Rolls are okay. The fruit ones are
Fruities.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The watermelon one, oh my god.
I like the blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my answer, like most people's, is Reese's Cups.
Reese's, yeah.
And so if we ban Reese's as an answer because it's like the best candy ever, I'd say probably like chocolate covered raisins.
Okay, those are actually good. Those are good.
And what about like cashews or peanuts, chocolate covered peanuts or anything?
Not as good. Like I would take Reese's Pieces over like an M&M or a peanut butter M&M any day.
I do like me some peanut M&Ms.
I'm gonna go with that. If I had Reese's Pieces or peanut butter M&Ms, I'm gonna go with the peanut butter M&Ms.
100%.
Yeah. Because I want that authentic Reese's piece, Reese's cup, and not just little pieces.
Hell yeah. But I'm definitely not eating a Little Bites muffin with Sour Patch plugged into it. I'm not doing that. That's
Hold on.
That sounds disgusting.
Great call. Thank you.
I got you.
You're an absolute G. Chat, stick around for a second. This needs to be.
Oh, is this? They have.
Can I see this in
We're just living
browser?
I don't know. It was Discord call.
You might-
Is that it?
Try to right click and then copy message. I don't know.
Open
Copy
link.
Yeah, see if that works.
Oh, downloaded it.
Oh, damn it.
That's not going to show it either.
But what if you click it? Would it open in like
It'll probably-
MOV? Would it open it in your browser?
Yeah, it's gonna open in your media player.
Well, we'll keep this a surprise for the people at home. This needs to be censored anyway. No one needs to watch this. So just watch. No, it's still not showing up on the thing. All right. Here you go.
In your world.
This is the equivalent of putting all of the fucking fountain drinks together.
Look at him. He loves the idea.
There you go.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
So he's got some Sour Patch Kids. Jared was hungry and came over with a bunch of different things, and I know my buddy Jared very well, and I know I can get him to do things. So this is what I was telling you earlier in the night.
See what we're doing here? All right. Okay.
So we're gonna take birthday cake, mini muffins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna do multiples. Oh, you're a real G.
I thought you were just gonna do one. He put 3 Sour Patch Kids in there.
Falling apart. All right. Okay.
Jared, you're on blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
His face.
We just made a monster.
He loved it.
Arrivederci.
And then later on, I was like, "Here, have some Reese's," and he's like, "No, I can't. I'm so full." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And then right back, and he takes the Reese's anyway. Reese's are overrated. I said it. That's the hot take I would expect from someone with toxicity in their name.
And also, you're wrong.
And also, yeah, exactly. And by some players, what are we gonna do with that?
So we don't have crayon flavor.
All right, that is one of our longest episodes to date. That's coming in at around the 2-hour mark, but it was
Well, I don't know if that's, we did like a 3-hour tier list one time, but I think it was before we were live and we split it into 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I think we just posted a 3-hour episode one time
You might be right. I forgot how
because
we
we
did
spent
that.
like 10 minutes on every character.
We went and it was like no one was there. We just
Yeah.
were talking
Just
about
yapping.
it. It's kind of the best.
I mean, that's cool. Though. That's...
1-year anniversary coming up. I can't wait for that. I want to do a special
2 year,
thing for
right?
that. Well, 1 year for the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, the
Hell yeah.
podcast will
Good
be
shit.
February 1 year. So I want to do a special thing and get us a couple of things. So be a cool little bit. But hopefully you guys at home have enjoyed this episode of the Safe Sets podcast. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Check out some of our other videos. Check out that Ranbat. What are you doing? And comment down below what your favorite part of tonight's episode was. Since you guys are on Twitter, don't forget to give us a follow. And thank you so much to everyone in the chat for hanging out with us and just being awesome and keeping it rolling. What I'm going to do and not forget this week, he already knows, is we are going to Yeah, allow. I wanna send you guys somewhere else, right? We wanna. Wait, did I hit the wrong thing?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what I don't know what I'm doing.
We're trying to
Stream together. Oh no. Raid
Raid.
channel. There it is. There we go. DJ, we love you and gotta tune into this more. Yeah, Upset Spaghetti and Billy, thank you so much for your support, especially during the Ranbat. All of the Boston TC Beyond Frame Data scene. I really do appreciate you guys supporting.
Love you too, guys. Dipshack.
Let me go for. I'm sure they're live, right?
Oh, there. Jelly Controller 2.
Oh, it's Monday. That's why.
Oh, it's Monday.
We're used to doing this on Friday nights.
Yeah. Okay,
Either
no.
way,
So
send them over.
let me do this. Let's search for. Hey, if you guys have a channel to suggest, let us know. Mondays are for Button Club and WWE Raw. Your girls on it.
That's usually what we're doing in Discord. We're all just Doug will stream WWE and we're just bullshitting.
Let's find someone who's streaming Street Fighter 6 and has like one viewer.
Yeah, someone that's not. Can I just hit enter and it'll take me to all of them, or?
Yeah, Capcom fighters, they need it. We're punks.
Viewers low to high. Do that. Let's raid someone who needs it.
Yeah, there we go. That's how we support. Ranked with Jonathan Pierce. Budtree TV. You know what? I like that. That's where you guys are going.
Watch him play ranked. What rank?
Oh
is
no!
he?
Stream ending. This guy. All right.
You missed your shot, buddy.
That's it. Yeah, you only get one. Super J22. Were you practicing rank?
Super J22. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
There you go. All right, guys.
Oh, platinum rank. He's not bad.
Have a good night. Thank you so much for all the support, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Safe Sets podcast. Keep pressing them buttons and
Stay safe.
that's right.
We're good.
I wanted to give it the time, right? That
Yeah, no.
I usually cut it off so early.
Yeah. That was an awesome episode.
That was a great episode.